All right, guys, so if the front side was a little bit confusing because you had to sit there and think, okay, I've got to multiply it by 100 to get it out of decimal form, but then I have to divide it by 100 to get it back into decimal form, only if I'm using the hundredths. What we're going to do is instead we're going to write this number in unit form where we're just going to write the number without the decimal, but then we're going to add that label. So then when you have your answer, you have that label brought down, then you can very easily convert it back into a decimal. So I've got 5 and 400. So if I were actually to write this out without the decimal, it'd be 504, but my label is hundredths. And guys, really, if you think about it from what we did on the front side, we did multiply that by 100 to get the decimal out, but we're just labeling it so that we remember to put that decimal in at the very end. I'm going to multiply it by 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Regroup my 3. 8 and 0 is 0, and then 3 is 3. And then 5 times 8 is going to be 40. Now, when you look at this number, okay, you should automatically sit there and think, all right, well, if I were going to round this and look at this, I could say 8 times 5, it's close to 40, right? But right now, I'm saying my answer is 4,032. That is so not right. But you have to remember, bring down that place value holder, or the place value label. And now what you need to do is you need to think to yourself, okay, how can I convert this and put this into decimal form instead of writing it in unit form? Well, you know that if you put this onto your place value chart, your 2 would go in the hundredths column, and then you would just write everything to the left on there. Or if you already know that hundredths is 2 place values over from that ones column, or 2 place values over, you know that your answer is going to be 40 and 32. Okay, this 32 hundredths. This is going to be a lot easier and really close, because if you would have automatically kind of thought to yourself, well, 5 times 8 is going to be 40. So I knew that this is going to be the right answer. 4,032, probably not the right answer. Okay, so over here, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to write this as 14,783 hundredths. Okay, I already technically have multiplied that by 100 to get rid of that decimal. And so now I've got 14,783 hundredths instead of 147 and 83 hundredths. I'm going to multiply that by 67. 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to regroup my 2. 8 times 7 is going to give me 56, plus 2 more is going to give me 58. Regroup my 5. I'm going to cross this off. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 5 more is going to give me 54. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4 more is going to give me 32. Regroup my 3. 7 times 1 is 1, plus 3 is 10. Okay, so now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do this 0 here because it's 60. 6 times 3 is 18. Regroup my 1. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49. Regroup my 4. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 4 more is going to give me 46. Regroup my 4. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 8 more is 28. Regroup my 2. And then 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. I want to make sure that I've lined these all up because I feel like my numbers were kind of getting a little bit bigger down here. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. I've got 1, 16, regroup my 1, 14, regroup my 1, 6, 8, 9, 8, and 9. So this answer is 989,461. But guys, you've got to remember, I need to bring down this label. Or you have to think, okay, well, I've multiplied that by 100. Now I need to divide it by 100. And so to actually have this in my decimal form, it's going to be 9,894 and 61 hundredths. Okay, just think, put this in your place value chart if you need help to figure out how to put it into decimal form. We're going to do the same thing for letter C, and I'm going to take 83 and 41 hundredths, and I am actually going to just write this as 8,341 hundredths, because I've technically multiplied that by that 100, but I'm putting that label to remind me, hey guys, I need to go back and put that decimal at the end. I'm going to multiply it by 504, or 504. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Regroup my 1. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Regroup my 1. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 1 is 33. Okay. Now, guys, remember, I do not need to go through and do this 0 here because it's all just going to be a bunch of zeros, but I'm going to come over to the 500 and I've got to have those 2 zeros there. Now I can go ahead and multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Regroup my 2. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 more is 17. Regroup my 1. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 1 more is 41. And I'm going to add this up. 4, 6, 8, 3, 10, regroup my 1, 2, and 4. Now if I look at this, this is saying it's 4,203,864. But guys, remember it's in hundredths. So I need to divide it by that 100, or I know that this is going to be in my hundredths column, that I can rewrite it as 42,038 and 64 hundredths because I've technically multiplied it or I've put it into that place value chart. So let's go ahead and go here. I've got 56 hundredths. So I'm going to actually do, because 56 hundredths is a 2-digit number, I'm going to do 432 on the top and I'm going to multiply it by 56 hundredths. Okay, because I've multiplied that by 100 so I can get rid of that decimal, but this is just reminding me that I have that place value there. I don't need to have this 0 here because when you guys write the number 56, you don't write 056, okay? So now I'm going to go through and multiply this. 6 times 2 is 12, regroup my 1. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1 is 19, regroup my 1. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Okay, I'm going to put my 0 here. 5 times 2 is 10, regroup my 1. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16, regroup my 1. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. And I think I might have done, hold on, a math wrong. 6 times 2 is 12, regroup my 1. 6 times 3, nope, okay, I'm sorry, I wanted to check my answer here. So I've got 2, 9, 11, regroup my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, but it's hundredths. Okay, so if I were to divide this by 100 or put it onto my place value chart, my answer is going to be 241 and 92 hundredths. And guys, if you kind of think about this, if I am going to look at this and I would round that down to 400, this one up to 1, having my answer close to that 400, which 241, yes, it's way off, but it's still in that hundreds, that would be a reasonable answer. So now if you guys come down here on number 3, you guys actually do not have to do any math on number 3 because they've technically given you the answer. And so I've got 98 times 768. And I know that that equals 75,264. But take a look at this. I've got 98 and 7 and 68 hundredths. So I've changed this whole number into that decimal form so that this is going to be hundredths. Well, guys, if this basically is the same equation except this one has the hundredths, then that means that answer would be in hundredths. So 75,264 hundredths would be the answer here. And how would I write it in decimal form? Well, I would write it as 752 and 64 hundredths. So all you have to do is you just have to look at what is that place value that they've changed it to, what is that label going to be, and you guys can actually use that answer to figure it out, especially down here. If I have 73,000 times 1,563, I know that answer is 114,099. If I come over here, I have the same exact number, except this one is now in decimal form and it's in the hundredths column. I know that this answer must be in hundredths as well. And so to write that in hundredths, it would be 1,140 and 99 hundredths. Okay? All you guys have to do is look at that place value. What is that label? Tack that label onto here and then write it in decimal form. That's pretty cool, guys. So down here, I've got 46 times 1,239. I know that equals 56,994. But look over here, guys. I've got 46 times 123 and 9/10. So basically, I would take this answer and it needs to be in tenths. So to write that answer in tenths, it would be 5,699 and 4/10. So all you have to do when it comes to problems like this is what is the label and add that label to that previous answer, and it's all right there for you.